Fatima joins us now to tell us all about it. Thank you for coming in, Fatima.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be able to share this platform with you today to talk about my bright shining star, which is an auntie that was in my first children's home.
Yeah,
Auntie Ray. I mean, obviously, for people that don't remember that I was abandoned as a baby and some would say left to die. And, of course...
I mean, when you say that, though, Fatima, literally, you'd been had out of wedlock and you were left for a few days,
yes.
and it was a neighbour that heard...
flat.
The neighbour that heard the baby crying that called the police.
Exactly. And then, of course, the neighbour was watching the flat, hadn't seen anybody coming or going in a couple of days, so called the police, banged the door down, rescued the baby, which was myself. And then, of course, I was made a ward of court in Hackney Borough Council and spent the next 14 years of my life in children's homes. But children's homes then were more like institutions back in the 60s, and children should be seen and not heard. And their emotional needs were very rarely met. Even today now, we look at children's residentials, they're much smaller, like homes. I mean, there's somewhat 110,000 children in the care system as we speak. There's a shortage of 10,000 foster carers. And the idea to share this book is about a young Fatima in the care system. Proceeds go to Fatima's UK campaign, which is helping young people get involved in programmes, power sport, arts and technology, which engages them, keeps them out of harm's way.
Yeah.
But the actual book itself is to explain to our young children what these youngsters go through, because they find themselves in the care system through no fault of their own.
It's interesting, actually, because I was reading it to James, my littlest boy, and it also opens up those questions that make little ones, and then you can talk about big ideas and hopefully make them more compassionate as human beings. The thing I loved about it was your relationship with a lady called Auntie Ray. And they're very special people, these people that work, but this lady was just otherworldly special.
Well, she's left a huge legacy where children are concerned in the care system, and also it's called My Bright Shining Star for a reason. I always used to call Auntie Ray the tickle monster.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I used to love is to hide under the bed sheets in the morning, and I really wouldn't want to get out of bed until Auntie Ray tickled me, which made my day feel like it started on the right foot.
Yeah.
Auntie Ray was just somebody that we knew that understood us, got us kids. We felt safe with her.
Yeah.
And I can remember one day running up the top of the staircase, looking out the port window, and I'd watch her coming up and down the road. I knew where she lived at the end of the road there.
Yeah.
I was probably only 10. I went round and picked these flowers, the daffodils. And, of course, I walked to Auntie Ray's. I hid them behind my back and knocked on the door. And when she opened it, I said, "Will you be my mummy?" Now, the two really important things that came out of this, for me, will stay with me for the rest of my life. And this is the power of what a good role model can bring to a young child's life. She said, "Fats," she said, "come round the back," she said, "and let's talk about this." She said, "I can't just be your mum." She said, "I've got to be mum to all those children." She said, "But here's the thing," she said, "I'm not always there and you are." She said, "So why don't you be there, mummy, when I'm not there?" And what that did for me, it taught me to obviously step up, be mum, play with the children, call out any injustice where there were many.
Yeah.
And, of course, in giving, you receive.
Yeah.
So giving them, empowering me to be able to empower them, to have the love that and the security that they needed for somebody in the children's home. And also for me, it swiveled the lens, the second one, which made me realise I wasn't growing up victimised by my circumstance, that my purpose was to be there for the kids, playing trampoline on the beds, pillow fighting, drawing matchstick men on the windows, and just generally, you know, being a child with the children as a mum.
What an
amazing lady.
moment, what an amazing lady. So she couldn't be your mum on her own, but you did eventually get your own mum, who was your javelin coach. I mean, that's an extraordinary story in itself, Fatima.
It certainly was. I mean, fate had a big role to play in this. I mean, obviously, most children that live in the care system struggle with their mental health issues. 27% by the time they're 14 have a lot of mental health issues. And obviously, for me, it was no different. I struggled with my school academic work, and I found myself really, sport was my saviour. And it was through a netball match that I met the love of the Whitbreads, with Mrs Whitbread, who was...
Was it love at first netball?
Well,
not exactly, Ben.
No, I mean, the match was a league match, and it was if you were going to win the league match, you were going to win a medal. And I said, Auntie Ray, Auntie, I said, if I win, I'm going to win a medal. So Auntie said, now you just concentrate on what you're doing. You haven't won that medal yet. And that taught me a really good lesson when I was in the Olympics, not to put a medal around my neck. But the moral of the story with this one was that I was very motivational with my team. And the whistle went and the umpire said, young lady, keep that noise down, otherwise you'll be off. And, of course, I carried on motivating my team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, nowadays they call us motivators. Back then it was a pain in the... and, of course, the next... we won, yay. The next thing was I went to the local athletic club, and it was there of which I decided that I would like to throw the javelin. And I was introduced to go to the stand, wait for the javelin coach to come. And, of course, as I sat there waiting, this Mini pulled up in the car park. And this person walked across the infield and I, double take, that's that same woman on the netball court who threatened to send me off. Oh, no,
you already
what are the
picture a pain in the
chances?
backside, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and of course, you know, as the weeks went on, she said to me, why don't you ask Mum and Dad to come up? We can talk about competitions. And I sort of nodded my head, and then she said to the shot put coach, Jack, has Fatima got a hearing problem? Why is that? Said Jack. Well, every time I talk about Mum and Dad, she just nods her head. Oh, he said, don't you know, she's from the children's homes. And with that, obviously, subsequently, she bought a javelin and some boots up for me. She asked me would I like to come and meet the family and have tea with the family. And, yeah, of course, I mean, it was an amazing fate that I should meet and love the love of the Whitbread family, because within a few weeks after that, she asked me would I like to come and stay in the summer season, have a couple of weeks there. And when I stayed with the family, at the end of it, I met, obviously, my young brothers, which were 4 and 2, Greg and Kirk, and Mr. Whitbread. And Greg, who was a 4-year-old, said, Mum, do we have to take Fatima back to the shop?
Oh!
So, no, I mean, I was a very... I'm one of the lucky ones, Ben, and the reason why I've written this book, as I said, it's to help create the awareness of children in the care system. So if you're thinking maybe you can open your hearts and your homes to give the love and the security to one of these children and foster, it's a very rewarding job. And I always say, for children, it's, you know, they should always have the love and security. It's their right as a child to have the love and security of a good home. And
look what you achieved, because you had that. I mean, you're a single-minded, extraordinary woman anyway, but, you know, to the athletic success that you had, Sports Personality of the Year, Fatima, all of those accolades because you had this amazing family around you that just sort of supported and drove you.
So you can play your part now by go out, buy the book, My Bright Shining Star, because all proceeds go to Fatima's UK campaign. Please play your part, buy a book. Christmas is coming. Help us make a difference to these young children's lives.
Really special. Yeah. Really, really special message. And it will make a difference as well, Fatima.
Yeah. My Bright Shining Star by Fatima Whitbread
is a beautiful book
now.
And like you said, it just creates a bigger conversation if you're reading it to your kids at home.
I've got one more thing to say, Ben.
Go on.
Show me your gun. I hear you're getting ready for your 50s.
Look at it.
I'm getting closer. They're not quite up to Olympic standard yet. I'm really tensing.
during the break, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was amazing, and it's a beautiful book.
Yeah,
it really is.
Thank you.
Stay there now. Stay there.
Yeah, stay there.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.